Alright, now we're going to show you a tip that's going to save you about $500 a week that very few people know how to do. Now this is the situation. This is a load assignment that I got. I'm out of hours right now, so this load picks up tomorrow at 12:30 in the afternoon. It's Americold picking up and basically picking up in Washington and then dropping off in California. Now, as I mentioned before, time is money. The Qualcomm is the part that keeps you from making money. Now, the very damaging thing that the Qualcomm has is if you look at the DOT clock, it's got something called the 14-hour clock. Now, what the 14-hour clock does, I'll show you right here, what the 14-hour clock does is as soon as you go on duty, it starts counting down, and you have to finish all of your driving by the time it counts down to 0. The problem is that what happens is if you get at a shipper or receiver that keeps you there for 4 or 5 hours getting loaded, you haven't got a full drive shift anymore, you can't make money anymore, and you'll probably get swapped out and get some garbage load because you couldn't make it to your destination. So what I'm going to show you how to do is how to freeze that 14-hour clock for as long as you need to for them to get you loaded. Now this is a little trick, but it is totally legal, and I have verified it with logs of Sierra England, and it's cool and you can do it, but you've got to pay attention, do the steps exactly right, or it's not going to be legal. Now these are the steps. As you notice, I have the load assignment from Americold is tomorrow at 12:30. Okay? Now right now it is, well, okay, tomorrow is Tuesday, today is Monday. So what we did already is Americold is about 5 or 6 miles away from where we are now at a Flying J truck stop. So what I did is I drove over to the Americold. I did an arrival call. Okay, so I'm way more than a day early, but I did an arrival call. Then I did a PT-DVIR post trip. I'm in Washington. Then what I was able to do, because I had arrived at the location and because my trailer was empty and I did my post trip, I off-duty drove back to this Flying J truck stop where we are now. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to watch TV, take a shower, do whatever I want to do, and then tomorrow at this appointment time I'm going to off-duty drive back to the gate at Americold and show up there a little bit before 12:30, and I'm going to off-duty drive there. The reason I can do it is because I haven't off-duty driven any closer to the location because I already checked in at the location the day before. So I'm going to off-duty drive to the location, then I'm going to drive at 2 miles an hour to the dock and bump the dock. I'm going to get loaded, and I still have not gone on duty. So if they want to take 4 or 5 hours to load me, I still have a 14-hour clock ahead of me I can drive because that clock has not started yet. So when they hand me my paperwork and I'm good to go, then I do 5 or 10 minutes marked paperwork, I go on duty and start driving, and I have a full 14-hour clock ahead of me. Now, if you were dumb enough to do what 99% of the drivers do and leave from the truck stop, start your clock and have your clock running while you're sitting at the dock, what's going to happen, they're going to blow your 14-hour clock, you're not going to have a full drive shift to drive, you're going to get swapped out and you're not going to make any money, and your DM's going to see that you're one of these guys that can't consistently deliver a load without having to get swapped. Alright, now, the same thing can happen when you're loaded. Now what I talked about so far is when you're empty. Let's talk about being loaded. What you do when you're loaded, like in this case, I've got 2 days to get this to Tracy, California, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to show up as soon as I can at the location in Tracy with a loaded trailer. I'm going to do my arrival call, I'm going to do my PT-DVIR, and I'm going to go off duty or in the sleeper berth to start my reset. So when they unload my truck the next morning, I'm still ready to reset, and I don't have to drive away on duty until such time as I have another load assignment or I'm ready to do something. So by using the off-duty driving, you can stop your 14-hour clock at the pickup, and at the delivery, because you have a loaded trailer and can't off-duty drive, you have to camp out on the doorstep of the shipper. Now you'll notice many times when you go to a shipper receiver, there'll be trucks at the end of the parking lot or parked out on the street in front. That's why. What those guys are doing is they're doing their reset, they're driving at 2 miles an hour to the dock to deliver the load, and then they have a fresh clock when they're ready to drive again. Anybody who's just logging what they do and doing what they log as you're instructed to do in class or by log department is going to go broke. The only way you do it is to manage your clock properly, so you don't start that 14-hour clock until you absolutely have to. And as I mentioned in the last one, recognizing that every minute wasted is $1.35 out the window. So you might have to play this back a few times, but this is worth $500 a week easily, is using this method to check in and check out of receivers and shippers.